And welcome to another episode of Garage Gameday Sports. I am your host, as always, Louie Longoria. Today's Tuesday, October 19th, 2021, and I want to talk WWE Crown Jewel. Coming to you from Saudi Arabia in 2 days, I want to break down the match card, offer my predictions, and what I think is going to go down in Saudi Arabia. Before we get started, please follow us at Gameday Garage on Twitter, like us at Facebook, Garage Gameday Sports. Like, comment, subscribe down below on YouTube, Garage Gameday Sports. Like us on all the socials. Let's go ahead and dive in. I want to get to this first match. I want to get it out of the way because I think it's a foregone conclusion. And we saw some fire from this character last night. I want to talk about Mansoor Mustafa Ali. I can see them going in the direction of Mansoor earning Ali's respect. I could see Mansoor kicking his ass and Ali just kind of floundering around in the mid-card or in the 24/7 title. I hope that they have an intense match. Mansoor comes out on top as always because, let's face it, it's in Saudi Arabia. It's pretty much bulletproof over there. Mansoor's going to come out on top in a hard-fought battle. But I like that he showed that fire in that promo last night. And the look on Ali's face was kind of like, oh crap, what did I do? What did I start? You know, with Mansoor, the happy-go-lucky guy, the I'm just happy to be here, waving to the fans, smiling, and he was pissed, you know, and he laid into Ali. I look for Mansoor to win, but I would like to see them stay as a tag team, you know, and Mansoor kind of win Ali over, and Ali, you know, look at him and say, you know, you got me, you were the better man. Let's keep on teaming. We can win tag team gold in the future. I would like to see that story play out. So yeah, I like Mansoor winning, but I would like a longer term story here than just a one-off match, you know, for Saudi Arabia's sake and for Mansoor's sake. I want to see them stay in the tag team title picture and make some noise there. So I got Mansoor winning. I want to go to the Queen's Crown Tournament. The first ever Queen's Crown Tournament, and Jesus Christ, could they could they spend any less time on this tournament? I mean, if you were going to give the women 2 or 3 minute matches, start the tournament earlier, spread out the matches, put one on every show, and give each match room to breathe, instead of just, you know, a mad dash to just get to the finals. You know, we've got Zelina Vega and Doudrop in the finals. Zelina, of course, on SmackDown, Doudrop on Raw. They both won their respective sides of the brackets, so they're clashing in the Queen's Crown Tournament final. My original pick was Shayna Baszler because, you know, it would have fit into the whole Queen of Spades gimmick, and, you know, she doesn't need a title. She'll just run through anybody, and it would be kind of a feather in her cap. But the promo Zelina Vega cut before this tournament started, before her match with Toni Storm, you know, you kind of could have swept it under the rug because Zelina hadn't been really treated as a threat. No fault of hers, just how creative presented her. But, you know, that she could kind of rule with this Queen's Crown gimmick, and I think this gimmick is tailor-made for her. You know, I would have liked to have seen Liv Morgan win this thing, but with the options we have now, I think Zelina Vega would make a heck of a first Queen's Crown winner and add some prestige to it. You know, you could actually build her up and don't just make it for the sake of having a tournament in Saudi Arabia and it not mean anything, which very well may be what happens. But I think you can present Zelina in a way that down the road, a few months, she can be a viable challenger for a championship and not just just a goon, you know, we're going to put against Bianca Belair or somebody to that effect to just walk all over on SmackDown. I think this crown can do to her what it's done to several others as far as the King of the Ring has done in the past. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a queen gimmick. You know, we already have that with Charlotte. But I do like Zelina winning here. Whether she cheats or not is, you know, another story. But I do want to see Zelina win and see what she brings to the table, because she's very creative and she does make the most of the little time they've devoted to her and this entire tournament. But I think Zelina can crush it as the Queen's Crown winner. And speaking of the tournament, I want to shift to the men's now. Finn Balor and Xavier Woods clashing in the King of the Ring final. As much as I want to see Xavier Woods succeed and win and beat Finn Balor in this final and establish him, you know, as a single star in the New Day, not just as a tag team guy, not just as a third fiddle to Big E and to Kofi, because they have championship reigns. I really want to see him, you know, elevate him and Kofi can still remain a team, and then they can split off and do their own singles thing while still being in the New Day. They don't need to break up and feud. They don't need to just stay in a tag team. It's a fluid situation with them. But I've got to go Finn Balor here. Balor had that wonky loss to Roman Reigns. He lost as the Demon. The turnbuckle snapped and he fell, and it kind of took him out of his trance, and Reigns pinned him with a spear, and his credibility took somewhat of a hit, especially, as the Demon taking that loss. I think he needs it more. I think Balor and Woods could have a hell of a match. This could end up being match of the night if they give him enough time, Whether they actually do remains to be seen. I would like to see at the very minimum 12, 13 minutes, even 15. If some of the other matches get cut short, you could add some time to these two. I would love to see Balor and Woods go at it. And off the top of my head, I don't even know if they've ever had a one-on-one singles match before. Feel free to comment or let me know if I'm wrong on that front. But I would love to see Balor and Woods just throw down for 15 minutes. Balor will get the win after, one, maybe even 2 coup de grace or a couple of 1916s or something to that effect to really put over Woods and how bad he wanted to be King of the Ring. And that could eventually lead to a singles push or a mid-card title push. But I've got Balor winning this. I think he just needs it more at this stage of the game. I do want to jump in now into the tag team titles. The Raw tag titles. RK Bro, Randy Orton, Matt Riddle defending against AJ Styles and Omos. Or as my son likes to call Omos, the big man. I like Orton and Riddle here to retain. I think the minute they drop the titles, they're going to want to turn them on each other. And we're not ready for that yet. It needs to be a Royal Rumble or WrestleMania if they can drag it out that far. A Royal Rumble or WrestleMania program. Orton, Riddle, they've still got some mileage. They got plenty of mileage in their team, especially with the draft and the shifting of teams, on Raw and on SmackDown. Styles and Omos can kind of either go their separate ways or they can remain a team just like the New Day are, and Styles can go pursue, the WWE title or the mid-card title, and Omos can either be his enforcer or he can just kind of bully people backstage, and be Styles' henchman until he's ready to leap into a one-on-one program with somebody. I've got Orton and Riddle winning this. I think they just need it more at this stage, and they've got plenty of mileage left in their gimmick and in their tag team. They sell merch, they're big names. Keep them on, keep the titles on each other, and when the timing is right, they'll pull the plug and have them feud with each other. So I got Orton and Riddle there. I'll go ahead and go to the no holds barred match between Goldberg and Bobby Lashley. I think Big E won the WWE Championship, and I'm so glad he won it. He's the flag bearer for Monday Night Raw now with the draft, and he's strictly on the red brand. Bobby Lashley, another reason they took the title off Bobby Lashley was that Goldberg could get his win back, and he gets it here in Saudi. I think he's big in Saudi Arabia. I know they're kind of behind the times a little bit, but Goldberg and Bobby Lashley are just going to be two big men slapping meat, beating the holy hell out of each other for about 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, something like that. A mad sprint with finishers galore. You might have a broken announce table. The barricade gets, somebody gets speared through it. I've got Goldberg winning this in just a crazy straight up match, whether the Hurt Business interferes or whether they don't. I would prefer that they don't, because that would hurt Bobby Lashley if the Hurt Business interferes and he still loses. I would just want Bobby to call off the dogs and say, hey, I'm going to handle this myself. I'm going to kick Goldberg's ass by myself. And Goldberg ends up picking up the win, whether that's a jackhammer. We've seen his physical condition and the type of match, a physical match. He gets gassed pretty easy. It may take like just 3 or 4 spears or something to put this down and get this match out of the way. And by making this a quick match, you can give other matches time to breathe. So I expect Goldberg in about a 3.5, 4 minute match, something to that effect. I want to jump to the Hell in a Cell match. Edge and Seth Rollins, Hell in a Cell. I've been back and forth on this one. I know the series is tied 1-1. It's in Hell in a Cell. And I could go either way with this. I just feel like Edge can win this, end the program, and that sends Rollins further down into that downward spiral. He's going to be on Monday Night Raw now. And, as the kind of crazed lunatic that he portrayed against Edge in this program, you can really turn it up to 11. and have him be a good first foil for Big E, in a championship program, assuming he gets by Drew McIntyre. I just think Edge needs the win. He's come up short already a few times. He lost to Roman Reigns. Him and Bryan were stacked in the main event of Mania. Then he was put out of commission by Rollins for a little while. So I think you can give it to Edge. Rollins can absorb the loss. Anyway, he's moving over to Raw, and he can challenge Big E, or he can even challenge Damian Priest for that Intercontinental title. United States title. So you can do a lot more. You can do a lot with Rollins. You can shift programs. I know they're both staying on Raw, or they're both moving to Raw. Edge and Rollins moving to Raw, but you can split them in their own separate directions. After this feud, you can't really go anywhere but down after Hell in a Cell. So I look for Edge to win this grueling, brutal battle inside Hell in a Cell. Let's go to the Triple Threat Women's Championship match. The SmackDown Women's title. Becky Lynch defending against Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. I think Becky will win here. She just won the title at SummerSlam. She's red hot as a heel right now, And after what she did to Bianca at SummerSlam and took the title and, won it in such quick fashion after a cheap shot, they're going to want her to get her comeuppance. And I don't really want to see Bianca do it in a triple threat, pinning Sasha to win or something like that. To me, I know Sasha just came back, but I think she's in this match to eat the pin. I've got Becky winning, probably by a roll-up or some sort of kind of wonky finish where she pins Sasha, retains the title. And you can either keep this program or you can split them apart and bring them back together down the road. I do like Becky to win here. I believe Becky and Bianca will both be on Monday Night Raw, so you can continue this program, or like I said, you can split them apart. But the end game has to be Bianca winning the title back from Becky, whether that's at Survivor Series, the Royal Rumble, maybe even Mania if you want to hold it out that long. But I got Becky retaining here. Let's go ahead and go to the two main event matches, the main championship matches. Big E, Drew McIntyre, two big men slapping meat. I know Drew McIntyre is going over to SmackDown. Big E moving to Raw. So this is kind of an interpromotional match. They're both, swapping brands, so they're facing each other on the way out of their respective brands. This is too early in Big E's championship reign to end it now. I don't see Big E losing. Him and McIntyre can have a physical match, not as intense as the Goldberg-Lashley match, but a lot longer than the Goldberg-Lashley match. This can really help solidify Big E's run, especially since it's in its infancy. Big E can use the title win. McIntyre can take a clean loss. He's moving to SmackDown, and he'll probably be first in line to Roman Reigns and that Universal Championship. Post-draft, he's going to be kind of slim on challengers, so McIntyre should either be first in line or move up the rankings pretty quickly. But I've got Big E winning this. I'm interested to see how Big E carries Raw and carries the WWE title moving forward. Whether they want to put him against Reigns or New Day against Bloodline again at Survivor Series, or if they're going to steer in another direction entirely is up to them, and interesting to see. But I do want to see Big E retain, and I think he does retain here. And the main event, I assume, will be the main event. Roman Reigns defending the Universal Championship against Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman, of course, in the center of this, scared to death as Reigns or Lesnar at any given moment look like they want to kill Paul Heyman. Roman Reigns has to retain here, just plain and simple. He's too hot of a character. Even though being a heel, they move the merch. That Bloodline shirt is so slick. Roman Reigns is just one of the best things you got going on television across any promotion in wrestling right now. They'd be fools to take the title off of him right now. It needs to be in the States. It needs to be WrestleMania. You think about maybe the Royal Rumble, but it probably has to happen at WrestleMania that he loses that belt. And Brock Lesnar, is in and out anyway. Reigns, can either beat Lesnar clean, or Heyman or the Usos can interfere, and then the following SmackDown, Lesnar can show up and just beat the crap out of people or destroy stuff and get himself suspended, or he can target someone else entirely and he can branch out, have a new program. But Roman Reigns has to win here. He's the tribal chief. I acknowledge the tribal chief. Have you acknowledged your tribal chief today? But Thursday, I just see Roman Reigns winning this and being the flag bearer and the head of the table for the blue brand. So those are my predictions for Crown Jewel. It's shaping up to be a pretty decent card this year. I'm actually looking forward to most of the matches. We'll see how everything plays out. And then once Crown Jewel's over, the drafts, the roster's reset. We're done reshuffling. So it'll be interesting. But my name is Louie Longoria. That's Garage Gameday Sports. We broke down Crown Jewel. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and follow us on all socials. I will see you guys next time. Have a good one.